Good evening, good evening, good evening, or good morning, depending on where in the world you are. Hello, Rock. Nice to see you. Haven't seen you in
Hello,
a while.
Bjorn. Nice to see you. I literally just turned up. I'm so sorry.
No,
I had
no
to
worries.
grab a handful of cashew nuts and Call of the Wild, Jack London, but I'm here now.
Yeah, awesome to have you here. So yeah, we welcome to Rock Players. This time, just as last time, I've put the link in the description if you want to join in as an open mic member. But of course, this show is nothing without the guests, so let's bring them on. We have N7 Spectres. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
We have SPG. And we have Mr. Rudigs. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey everybody, I'm just getting
Um,
some clothes together, so I'll be on camera in about 5 minutes.
That's kind of where I was 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, we don't want to nudity strike here, guys. So it's good for you to turn off the camera for that. But yeah, how have you all been? It's been quite some time since I saw some of you. So happy to have you here.
Great to be
Yeah,
here.
just been trying to stay warm because of the city that I got hit with quite a bit of snow. So just trying to stay warm.
Good thing you have that blanket,
Whereabouts are you?
Ohio.
Ah,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, and
Yeah, a lot of people
SPG,
think
how
I'm
about you?
from Canada, but I like to drop as I know Ohio, and they're like, oh, okay.
Oh, hi. Oh, sorry about that joke. But
I think you're from Canada because you're so nice.
yeah, that's
That's
probably.
true, probably.
Yeah.
But since we're on the topic of Ohio, N7, what have you been playing since last time I saw you?
What's
What's the big game for you right now?
Ark Survival. Destiny 2 is currently offline right now. So I was running some Grandmasters, the highest content of 3-man instance for just trying to get that over. And Midnight Suns, because they dropped newest character, Deadpool, today, first DLC after the release, which is great.
Yeah, awesome. SPG, welcome.
Hey.
What have you been up to, and what's been your
Oh,
gaming
man.
of late?
I've been freezing in North Dakota lately, but hey, it's going to warm up sometime, I hear. Probably, way after February, but I'm hanging in there. Playing a lot of games, man. I just finished Spider-Man Remastered for PC. Lots of fun. Quality title. High caliber. And then I started playing some Mafia Remake. I'm pretty close to finishing it, and I don't have nice things to say about that game. I did it first. It's beautiful. It's got really good facial animations and textures, and the acting is top notch. But the occlusion isn't very good. Late in the game, when you drive your vehicle, you hit just a little bump, a curb, and your vehicle goes flying through the sky. And then you try to right the vehicle by holding a button to flip it over, and it starts it all over again. Like it's quite impressive, actually. Rudigs was seeing it.
Sounds like the physics is kind of broken.
Yes. But the story's great. But that's what I've been up to.
Yeah,
Sounds just like the Mafia in real life.
yeah, kind of
They're
does.
all over the place.
Yeah. Physics are really broken. Was a great story.
No doubt.
So, Rock, what's been up for you?
Oh, crikey. Well, I kind of almost got to the end of Evil West, and I came up against my arch nemesis, the end boss, the end of game boss. I hate them. I wish the Japanese had never invented the end of level bosses. I just like to get through a game. I don't want to have to rinse and repeat. So that's what happened. So I killed that one off. But I've now got Ragnarok, so it's turned up today and installed, and I played the first 20 minutes before I fell asleep, which is not anything at all to do with the game, just me being old. And also I've been playing a lot of Crisis 2 and 3.
Ooh, yeah.
I like Crisis 1.
Great game. I've been playing Resident Evil Village, the DLC, the Rose DLC. I've been playing some more Days Gone. Just a ton of stuff behind the scenes.
Nice. And Rudix, are you properly dressed yet and can talk, or should I?
I can talk. I'm almost there. I'm on the same wavelength of SPG. I actually just got through the Miles Morales. They have it as a full game, but it seems more of a DLC. It's in 6 chapters. Incredibly emotionally driven story. Those PlayStation people, Insomniac, they really know how to drive a story. I was choking up. Miles Morales is my Spider-Man now. Puerto Rican. Well, he's half Puerto Rican, but I relate to that, being island Latin descent myself. So big props to that. And so now I've been turning to Returnal on the PS5, which has just been absolutely a skill-driven test. I find myself dying so much, and the punishing part is it brings you right back to the end, takes away all your upgrades, and you have to start from scratch and make it all the way to the final.
I'm out at that point.
This
Punishing.
game is punishing.
It's
so tough. I've made it to the 2nd world so far, which is the desert land. I definitely need some co-op or something. So if anyone's playing Returnal, hit me up. Oh my gosh, it is a tough one. And on a note, I got scared when N7 said that Destiny 2 is still down. I did launch into Destiny 2 here on GeForce Now, and I'm able to drop into the Cosmodrome.
Okay.
So for anyone listening out there, it does seem to be back up and running for Destiny 2.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, we found you a co-op for Returnal. Doragon is offering to.
Doragon, I need your help, man. Let's link up after the show.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, there's been a bunch of news happening this week. But before we do, Rokk, do you want to mention anything about the giveaways you're running right now?
Yeah, sure. So tomorrow is Team Rokk Members Day. So every day, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, there's stuff to be given away. On a Friday, I give away games exclusively for members. And tomorrow, it's the last Friday of the month. So I give away a super duper special prize to all the members above the entry level tier. So they're going to have a chance to win Resident Evil Village. Plus, because it isn't on GeForce Now, I'm going to be bunging in a trial for Boosteroid as well, so they can play it on there if they don't have a PC. Next, let me see, the 10th of Feb, we have Hogwarts Legacy giveaway. That's on any platform, and you can choose between 60 days of GeForce Now Ultimate, PlayStation Plus Premium, or Xbox Game Pass Ultimate as well. So that's coming up, and all the usual stuff that I do every other day. There's a few there.
Yeah, that's a fair bit. And while on the mention of on the topic of housekeeping, and don't miss, it's now about a month left until my big charity event that some people here are gonna join in streaming it with. So mark your calendars for the February 24th through to 26th for a bunch of charities streams with a lot of giveaways.
How many people have signed up, Bjorn?
I think we have about 20 streamers that has said they're going to participate. 25 maybe at this point. And as for giveaways, we are up to at least, I think, 40, 45 something for that weekend.
That's awesome.
It might be also a lot more giveaways joining in there very soon. I'm going to talk some details after the show tonight with Lo-Fi Monk, who had figured something out. So yeah,
Has he figured out how to get his camera to work?
No, I don't think he has, to be honest.
or somebody give him a free avatar, an animated avatar. Look, I've just given Rudix his logo. Look at that. He's got his own logo.
He does have an animated smiley face that works. I'm not sure if he does.
You see that? This is what a good animated avatar looks like. You see?
Yeah, exactly.
See how realistic that is?
Hey,
that is the AI at
so lifeless.
Yeah, Rudix, you need to get your eye tracking going. Get your eye tracking. There you go.
Exactly. Happy Cloud Gamer, we are going to get to that. That's actually going to be kind of the main topic for today. Not that and like jumping off of that into a grander discussion on Xbox. Before we do, though, I'm thinking let's talk some news first, just to warm up a little bit. And let's do that. I hope it's not blurry for anyone. It looks blurry to me, but I think that's just my preview.
It looks great live. It always
Mhm.
dumbs it
Sounds good.
down in here.
Amazing. So, GFN is launching DLSS 3 on a bunch of new games. Hitman World of Assassination. They've finally taken the 3 Hitman Hitman reboot games and merged them into one. Marvel's Midnight Suns is getting some downloadable content, as we mentioned already. And yeah, 6 new games on the cloud, and London is lighting up with some 4080 SuperPods. So everyone in the UK, congrats! You now have 4080s in the cloud. So that's kind of neat.
You get rude.
But yeah, Hitman 1, 2, 3 is getting DLSS 3 support. So better performance than that. That's not bad at all. Deadpool is Deadpool. Have you N7? Had you met Deadpool yet?
No,
time?
I'm planning on doing it after the show.
Yeah.
So,
Then we look forward to next week, maybe hearing from you how Deadpool is portrayed.
definitely.
But it's having a
But, yeah.
DLSS 3 upgrade. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so
Yep.
it's getting even better. Looking forward to that. Actually, I need to jump back in. It's a really good game.
Very good story.
Let's see what
Very
else
good
we have
story.
here. We have, yeah, it really is. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon, the Steam release, is now on GFN. Watch Dogs Legion is also coming to GFN through Steam. So if you bought it through there, you can now stream it. Cygnus Enterprises, Rain World, The Eternal Cylinder, and Oddballers. And I'm kind of excited about Oddballers, to be honest.
Mhm.
That looks fun.
Very good party game.
Yeah. It feels really good. Happy Car Gamer, I'm having GFN working lovely here in Sweden. I think I'm generally connecting to the Frankfurt data center, but that, I mean, it's halfway across. It's on the other side of the Baltic Sea, but it's as if it was really nearby.
Where would you have connected to before then, Bjorn?
Oh, Frankfurt as well.
Oh, you would anyway. So
Yeah,
that's your,
maybe
okay.
they've installed a new data center close, like in the Nordic region, but I haven't seen any news on that. So I think it's still Frankfurt.
That's fair. It's not that far from you, though, is it?
No,
I
I
don't
mean,
think.
or to be honest, Frankfurt is close. It's about right in the middle between me and you. So,
Frankfurt's
I mean,
come between us, man.
Yeah, bloody Frankfurt.
Do you remember our time in Frankfurt? It came between us.
Yeah. We also have some free months of GFN available if you have been playing with some Ubisoft games on Stadia. You have been getting emails on about GFN trials, so don't forget to claim a free month of that if you haven't. I think I already gave mine away and I didn't get another one. So
Yeah, but you can add it. You can add it. Did you have a priority account prior to them giving you the ultimate?
yeah, but I got this email. I think this is a second round of sending
This is
the
the
same
second
email.
round, yeah.
Because I got an email before Christmas and I gave that away to
Gotcha.
to
Okay.
someone else, and then now I'm seeing reports people are getting this email again, and I'm assuming since I already claimed mine, I'm not getting it.
So it's probably worth trying. It may be a new code. There's a shelf life to these codes. There was
These let's see, these are expiring on the last date of March.
Yeah.
Whereas the ones that Bungie are also offering Stadia players GFN, that is expiring I think February 19th.
Okay.
So and it's a priority tier for both of them. So yeah, don't miss this opportunity, I would say.
How much is priority tier these days?
It's $9.99 a month.
Yeah, it's 10.
Dollars and euros. £8.99 pounds.
Dollars. Yeah. £8.99. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that was a bad idea. Why did I turn on full screen? Oh, I can't switch tabs. Right. What else do we have? We have some news from Xbox. They obviously had their big event yesterday. It was the developer conference, and from that we did get one shadow drop and a bunch of release dates. And some looks into some upcoming games. But already this week we are getting. It's a good week for cloud for Game Pass subscribers. Grid Legends is coming to cloud this week, as is Age of Empires 2. One of my favorite, one of the first games I really like. One of the games that got me into gaming in the first place. is coming to cloud and consoles. I'm hoping that the cloud release. Yeah, I'm gonna have to test out the cloud release for that. Maybe there's mouse and keyboard support. Who knows? We also have the GoldenEye 007. Unfortunately, not with online multiplayer. That's exclusive to the Switch, apparently.
Incredibly infuriating.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, if you play this
Incredibly.
like what 20, 25 years ago or something, it's you can get some nostalgia, but I don't think it will hold up as well as we want to think.
But the multiplayer alone would have been just a great nostalgic
Would, yeah.
experience
Oh, yeah.
to jump into with all
To
of
be
your
fair, though,
friends,
the
and
console
now
edition
they
of this.
took away multiplayer.
Yeah, to be fair though, the console edition do have
I think
local
you're
multiplayer
muted,
for players.
William. William, I think you're muted. If you were.
No, I'm not muted.
Oh, right. You were just mouthing.
Quite.
He was teasing me.
Yeah.
We're missing names
Darkest
right here.
Dungeon. Anyone played Darkest Dungeon? I've played like a little bit, and it seemed really fun, but I didn't really get far. So, but I've heard really good things about Darkest Dungeon. So that's coming to cloud, more accessible, always good. Hot Wheels Unleashed. I thought that was on there already, but apparently it's not. Then we have the big shadow drop of yesterday, the Hi-Fi Rush, developed by the team who made Ghostwire Tokyo. They announced and released it yesterday, and damn, does it look good! It looks like a mix of like I described it as a mix of Devil May Cry meets Metal Hellsingers, but in a very colorful and kind of happy world almost.
Yeah, great art style. It looked incredible.
Yeah.
The visual style. Yeah.
And like every single review so far has been shining. It looks like to be one of the big like best releases in quite a while. So definitely check that one out. Incluminati. I briefly looked at it and I forgot everything about it, but the name alone makes me want to check it out. And then let's see, oh, I gotta scroll down for that name. God knows if I can't tell from that picture. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R. It's also coming to cloud. I'm assuming as some sort of anime that I don't know nothing about, but I don't know.
I'm not a fan of JoJo, but there are some out there. For sure.
Yeah, I'm guessing there's a bunch of fans being very happy now. That's coming. A bunch of these is coming like late next week. But yeah, coming soon. And also some updates to Sea of Thieves and some ultimate perks for a couple of games. A few games are leaving, but nothing to get too all too worked up about, I think. Then we have, of course, the big developer direct, where we, first of all, yeah, Hi-Fi Rush we mentioned, and Doragon says it's amazing. So, yeah, I'm doing a dangerous comment here apparently.
What
with,
is
saying that.
What is JoJo then? Is that some kind of slang for something?
I think it's some sort of like it's an anime of some sorts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Don't know much about it.
No.
And right, yeah, Happy Cloud Gaming mentions also we like breezed across Hitman, but Hitman is not only combining the games, they're also releasing a new game mode, which is like a roguelike game mode called Freelancer.
Wow.
So also some new content to that game. We also got some release dates. Minecraft Legends, a game that my son is really excited about, and I love RTSs, so am I. Might be his first RTS, and if so, then I'm gonna have a lot of fun playing together. I think up to 4 players on one team. The release date for that is now April 18th, so not that far away, to be honest. The big vampire shooter from Arcane Studios, Redfall, is coming May 2nd. Forza Motorsport coming this year sometime, and a new DLC for Elder Scrolls Online. All in all, it was a really good. Like, I don't know how many here saw the developer direct.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, we were watching it, I believe, SPG and I together.
Yeah, we were all watching in Discord before I had to go to my my old man eyes doctor appointment. I caught a bunch of it.
How did you like the format?
Oh, I liked it. I thought it was really neat, and I liked what they had to show. ever since COVID, it's either been very hit or very miss when it comes to some of these things that they put on for us. But I like the format of this one though.
Yeah, I agree. I really enjoyed the getting to see the developers get the attention that they honestly deserve. Right, like people making games are doing a lot of really cool work and should get more recognition. So I like the fact that they focus a bit on the development side of it.
I actually put it on ×2, to be fair, without any audio. I was just keen. I was just keen on seeing the games. I mean, their studios look fantastic, and I'm sure they enjoyed their 5 minutes of fame. But I was keener to see what the games would look like, and that gave me all I needed. But it was brilliant to see the stealth drop of hi-fi. And I'm hearing good things as well. I think it's a bit like, what was it, Hell Metal or?
Yeah, Metal Hellsingers meets Devil May Cry is what I would describe how it looks. I haven't played it yet, but that's how it looks to me. And those that seems like a matchup made in heaven, to be honest. So
yeah, fantastic idea. I'd love to see more of that stuff.
And if you're worried about space and not sure about stability in the xCloud, it is only 15 gigabytes to download, so it's not that big of a game if you have Game Pass PC.
That's good. That's definitely not much at all. So yeah, check it out for sure. I guess I really hope that I think, as Happy Club Gamer mentions, like I hope they make this a regular thing, like the Nintendo Direct is. Like maybe 5 times a year or something, 6 times a year would be really cool.
No, it's good. I thought it was really good. I mean, I don't know who did one last year, and I was really excited, and it was dismal. Can't think who it was now. It was a big studio, but it was so dire and so boring.
Yeah, there's been a couple of really bad ones.
Yeah, I definitely think it was a great move to say, hey, we're only going to talk about 4 games. And by the way, there's a big surprise 5th game that's really awesome. I think that's a great move to do. They hit all of the demographics with Minecraft and then Redfall and then racing and then Elder Scrolls. Like, they hit all of their bases, and you could tell that it was market research that drove them to make these decisions. And they did a great job. It was a little bit of something for everyone.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I noticed also that Monster Hunter Rise has come to Game Pass, including cloud gaming. That's already out. So, but it was in between last week's show and this week's show. So there we have it. And if who here has played Elder Scrolls Online? I know I have a dabble a little bit, but really.
Played what? Sorry, Bjorn.
Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh, Elder Scrolls. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, a few minutes.
Yeah.
I logged in on Stadia. I know Nads and I went through a couple mission quests. I believe I made it up to level 15 or so, but I think I was just internally too evil of a person to succeed in the Elder Worlds.
That was actually part of the early alpha stages of ES.
That's why you flourish in BG3, Rudix. Evil!
Yeah. I can't get the image load for some reason because Twitter on desktop has been abysmal for the last couple of weeks for me. It's like 1 FPS or in general for me, like if it's up for more than 5 minutes. But yeah, essentially what the image shows is if you, for a limited time, there's a free trial essentially event thing. Where you can play all of the previous chapters and DLCs except the latest one and the upcoming one for free if you own the base game. So no matter which DLCs you own, you can jump in and give them a try. And there we go. It's not a few. It's kind of a lot of them. So yeah, if you have some free time and don't want to spend any money on buying these DLCs, now it's a great time to rush through all of them. I don't think you can get through even one.
That's pretty amazing, though, isn't it? And this is for how long? Did they say how long?
They didn't say, or at least I didn't catch it. So for some amount of time, you can play all of these for free. So get in there and get through them while you.
That's gotta be so many hours of content.
Oh yeah, I mean easily
hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah. It's like. It's like Destiny. It's a little overwhelming. Think about it. You know what I mean? It really is.
20
I've
DLCs. I mean, what is the space of something like that? You would have to use a cloud service to be able to handle.
Yeah,
all
I
of
assume it takes like if you install everything, I'm assuming this has to take up about like
200 gig.
Yeah.
at least 100.
Definitely 100, man.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'd say the
Yeah,
base
it's
game
like
and one of the DLCs, you'd be at 80 or 90 at least. But who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Dorrigan makes a good point. Maybe it's free up to the point of the new expansion.
That would make
is,
sense.
March,
Yeah, June.
So
Well, it's kind of a
until summer,
win-win.
then.
It's kind of a win-win for them. For the people
Yeah.
that played up to a certain point and didn't pay anymore, now they can jump back in. They're trying to get returning players and new players interested. So
yeah, for sure. Awesome, awesome.
Yeah, and then I think two more short stories before we jump into the main topic. And that one of them is that Boostroid has released a cloud progressive web app for Chromebooks or Chrome OS. That's now available on the Play Store to download to your Chromebooks, giving you better and easier access to Boostroid, which is nice of them to do. And I find it interesting that they only require 15 megabit per second connections, because I think even Stadia used more than that for 1080p. I think.
Oh, I don't know that it.
Or about
not for
there at least.
1080p, I don't.
No.
Yeah,
Don't forget they were pushing out at 4K all the time. You were just
Yeah.
restricted.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, their 4K was 30. They recommended you had 30. Yeah.
I think it was base 10, wasn't it? 10 megabytes for Stadia
Yeah,
for
I
the
think it was
720,
about 10.
That
and
sounds
maybe
about
even
right.
less for mobile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And lastly, if you're in the States, Luna offers 2 months of free Luna Plus. So yeah, we here in Europe can't use this, but it's have
You
fun.
can with a VPN.
Yeah.
How good is that gonna work?
Yeah, I'm not
kind of-
saying it's going to be pleasant.
Sort of move your character forward, go and make a cup of tea, come back, and then it might have. I did say to them jokingly, as you're giving away all these freebies, perhaps when it does make its way outside the US, we'll get a year for free. That'll be nice.
That would be
I'm
nice.
a Prime member already. I'm just waiting for it to come.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, same here. Like,
I mean, is it?
get
There's
it done.
still no sign of it breaking out of the States.
No.
no, I
None.
don't know what's going
No.
on.
They liked one of my posts one time, but I don't think that means they're coming.
No,
No, probably not.
No, and now that all the companies are like getting ready to weather a financial storm that they see on the horizon, they may not. They may not expand right away or at all.
Yeah.
I agree. They may just decide to.
You know,
I've just worked out why I thought your mic was muted, William.
why is that?
Because I'm watching it live on YouTube with it muted, just to check, just watching the chat, and I just and you were talking. I was thinking, oh no, look, he is muted, and then I realised, no, that was a few seconds ago. What a numbnuts!
I guess Dorrigan here. I disagree with this statement that it was either ESO or FF14 for a lapsed World of Warcraft player. Guild Wars 2. Don't forget Guild Wars 2. That's a passionate subject of mine. That's, in my opinion, the best MMO currently active.
Wow is?
No, Guild Wars 2.
Oh.
Guild Wars 2 was always better than World of Warcraft. Guild Wars 1 was better than World of Warcraft.
Is there,
I didn't
I'll
get
die
into
on
it,
that rock.
though.
No, I never did that stuff. What's the current sub then? If you want to get into World of Warcraft, what are you looking at monthly?
Oh wow, it can be expensive.
Really?
Depends on what you're. Yeah, it depends on what you're actually doing. I haven't known anyone that's been into it for a little while, but they're constantly selling you the expansions, and then you have a membership as well.
And I think, isn't it also like, I think you can convert in-game currency to game time. To essentially,
Oh
like,
really?
Okay.
Yeah, but I think
if
you
you
need
if you
to-
grind like
Yeah, you need to
heavily
grind.
you can pay for yourself. But Rock right now, I'm looking on BattleNet. It is for 1 month. It is 15 US.
What?
But you have to buy the game, right? And then
On top of that, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, there's so
Yes,
much-
Guild Wars
mind
2
you,
is better
Destiny,
than
Destiny's
and
good.
free. Yeah, Destiny 2 or Guild Wars 2. That like both of those games are free,
Destiny 2 is
and then
free
you
to
can
play.
buy some DLC.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this link will
that's so
work
much more fair.
for you guys.
Yeah, I agree.
But there you go.
If they're going to
don't
make you
understand why
pay on
Blizzard
them,
people give.
yeah. I agree.
Why do people give Blizzard money?
What would you, Riggs, what would you rather do? The old days of Destiny where you paid $60 every year and then $20 for every season, or have it as a free to play and just play for the seasons?
I would rather have it free to play and then play for those big seasonal expansions.
So you're happy with where it is now?
I think where it's at now is giving us the best content, but you have to wait because it's those big seasonal drops that are the greatest content. Although I feel like it's very much overpriced. They're making so much hand over fist on ornaments and stuff like that. That we're being charged. I think, what is it for Lightfall right now? 124 for the Lightfall.
And that was actually a big controversy because the gun that came with the DLC apparently was overpowered, and where people were saying Destiny is finally done, and where it's a pay to win.
Pay to win the Quicksilver, right?
Yep. And then I'm assuming they tweaked that over time, but until they released that tweak, I'm assuming.
But still, it's but still powerful right now.
Yeah, and I'm assuming some people were like, dude, like, I bought that DLC just for that weapon. Now you made it bad.
Those people are,
It's become to a state right now. Although I really enjoy the model of how they release their big contents, and then you have this seasonal filler in between where you can do your competitive if you like to do that, or you can do the seasonal content for more story. But what I am not liking is the oversaturation. There are too many guns. There are too many armor sets. There's just too much in the game. There's too many assets, in my opinion. The crafting did help in that, but they really need to like wipe the slate clean and do a Destiny 3. I think we're all calling for it. I think it's just too much.
So you're ready for a 3, huh? You're ready for him to put 2 to bed and
go back to 1. That's what I want.
Oh, that's what N7 did.
Yeah, I love playing Destiny 1. I play Destiny 1 a lot. I still have it installed. I still prefer it to Destiny 2. I think it's a great program. It was my favorite game of all time. Interestingly, if you went to Fanatical, and yes, I am a partner, ladies and gentlemen, you can pick up Lightfall 2 with all the DLCs and everything for $84. There you go.
Oh, there you go. That's a bit of a price discount. So at Fanatical, you can use that for your Steam account. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll probably take
platform Steam.
Yeah. But the term is power creep. I'm not sure for anyone who's MMO based, you probably understand what that means. But power creep is very heavy in Destiny right now.
What is power creep?
Power creep is that you know how overpowered your Guardian is right now? That is just like they have to counter out with the developers, but then that means upgrade your light level, but then you get more powerful to get on top of that. And so it's sort of like a vicious cycle. So power creep. And that's what a lot of MMOs do, is sort of like do either a level reset, or they just do a wipe in a sense. And so
that's what they should do.
The power creep, and then just
like once you get into that issue with power creep, it's hard to get out of it. Like you need to be aware of that from the get-go. And I think like I love the way Guild Wars handled it, because Guild Wars 2, because they decided from the get-go like this is the max power level that we're gonna have in the game. We're gonna add more skins. We're gonna add some like tweaks to how things work. But they made sure to add, like, from day one. I think they built everything with like down, even the low level zones. You get down leveled to match that zone if you go back as a high level player. So all of the content in the entire game is always like fitting for you. It doesn't matter if you have, like, if you only have the like really like you can have as long as you can find a good set of like end game gear, that will always be relevant. It doesn't matter if you're playing, like, get off the game and then you come back 5 years later. You still have good enough gear to play raids, or like endgame content. I think they managed to really hit the sweet spot there. So yeah.
What Joe asks, I guess it's really for the two expert players here, Rudigs and Spectre. I was good in the day, but I got in there the other day. I watched Spectre play and I thought, oh man, I'm so out of this game. I am so desperately out of this game. Joe says, what would you like to see them bring if there were to be a Destiny 3, guys?
You want to take this N7? I'll gather some thoughts in the background.
Sure.
Put you on the
So
spot.
pretty much what we touched on is try to work on power creep. Like in Destiny 1, they actually limited to, I believe it was 400 actually, and they didn't go past it. And so it was just like, sure, you know, they were getting ready for Destiny 2, but still like have a limit of levels and then try to figure out how to make it still fun for the people who like to solo content like Grandmasters, but still like, you know, keep that level so power creep does not come in. Emphasis more on crafting, as Rudigs and I agree that there are too many guns in the game because like I'm like literally I run only one set. When even running a high-end content, I only have like maybe 7 guns I run. Everything else in the vault is useless to me, and I don't understand why my clan members are looking for the best role and all that. It's like you have like 20 of the same gun, you know, with one little perk that's different. Are you going to even use them? They're like, no. I was like, then why keep them? You know, so less guns, less power creep, limit the level of it, and yeah, I think those are the 3 for me.
Mine would be, let me fly that ship. You get into orbit. I want to
be cool.
fly it. And
Forever.
then give me sparrow races. Oh, that would be so much
Well, we
fun.
had
SRL.
those that one Christmas
SRL.
season. Do you remember? Were you guys around when we did sparrow racing?
I
Oh,
was not. No.
mate,
SRL.
it was
SRL.
the best.
Yep.
You remember it, Spectre? It was the best season they ever did, and you literally were racing against each other, and they killed it at the end of the season. And never came back.
Yeah.
Such a shame. It was huge.
I
Fun.
mean, I think anyone making any sort of MMO-ish game, I think there's been I made a whole video about it last summer. Like, there's so much really clever design things to steal from Guild Wars 2 that people really should take a look at stealing, because like they have a lot of things going for them that I've seen MMOs come out after they like. I mean, this is a 10-year-old game. Things that they did back then that other new MMOs releasing today still don't learn from, that they did, and fall into the same pitfalls that everyone else has throughout the years. Well, there was a fix for that solution, the problem 10 years ago that these guys did. So yeah, if you're making an MMO, take a look at Guild Wars 2. Learn from that. Even if you're making Destiny 3, there's things to learn there.
Yeah, Doragon, I'm currently wearing one of the Destiny shirts. So I know you say you have an SRL shirt, but yeah, it was funny.
Hot damn, I could have put mine on.
I don't
Most
have
expensive
a Destiny
T-shirt I
shirt.
own.
Oh.
Yep, it has my little gamer tag logo on the side too.
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
see,
my
they
goodness.
did a decent one with him. I just got my name kind of like one of those, you know, those things, the guns, and there's like a ticker tape comes out, and it's pushed through. That's like what I've got on the side of mine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wasn't,
Bife-
didn't know we were going to be talking about Destiny. So
No, we divert all over the shop. That's the whole
Yeah,
concept.
and I mean, we go wherever the conversation takes us.
Absolutely, yeah. We're just a bunch of guys that are into games, and we talk about what we want. I just noticed on YouTube that Bife. Do you remember Bife? I played with
Oh,
Bife
yeah.
a few
My name is
times.
Bife.
Yes, I played
Daddy.
against him in trials.
Yeah.
And I remember
win?
I killed him in the
Yeah.
trials match, and I clipped it on Stadia, and then I sent it to him. I'm like, I'm a huge fan, and I killed you.
And he
That was
loved you
a
for
moment
that.
I'll always remember. And then he said, thanks.
I used to do a lot of work with Mesa Sean. Do you remember Mesa Sean? He was a big YouTuber as well. Him and Bife, and there was a few of them. And anyway, Bife's just put a video up saying, in his estimation, and I guess he's probably played a fair amount of early access stuff, that he says it is Destiny 3. It's that big a difference. He actually sees it that way, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, because they've evolved all of the subclasses to a much more it's a next generation state. So for instance, your solar powers today look much different than they did a year ago.
Oh yeah.
Everything is built out.
I don't even play Destiny, and I have to give a round of applause to the developers for keeping the game relevant and keep changing it on the fly every time they do an update. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
they
quite incredible what
implemented-
they've done with the game, to be
Yeah,
honest.
they implemented a 3.0 change for each of the subclasses, and so now it's more customizable versus having set choices and not being able to do too much. So it's been nice.
It's amazing what $4 billion can buy you, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Destiny Mobile's coming out. Destiny
Yeah.
the show's coming
Well,
out.
yeah. Do we know any more about that? Have they given anything about the IP crossover stuff into Netflix or wherever it's going to turn up? Have they said yet? Or
I've just seen vague details saying
Yeah.
mobile and
More
the show.
speculation, if
Okay.
anything, no confirmation. So,
I used to read This Week in Bungie, whatever it was called, every week.
oh, the TWAB.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
haven't read it for years now.
We have the TWAB every week we go over. So nothing's been mentioned in there as of yet.
Speaking of Destiny Mobile, then do you think? What do you think about Happy's question here? That the cloud gaming services or mobile gaming will take away focus from game developers?
It will,
Wait,
or
mobile
it'll create
gaming
more
taking away
jobs.
from development.
I think it'll create more jobs in that sector. I think you need specialized people for mobile development. So if anything, we see layoffs. I mean, the more things coming up in the gaming world, the better for the people who are getting laid off. Hopefully they'll be recycled back into this mobile space.
Yeah,
Seems to be the best way to go for direction since the success of Call of Duty Mobile.
yeah, definitely. And hopefully we can see some strides being made in cloud as well, thanks to that. In the long term, obviously it's gonna suck for anyone losing his job right now. So, so anyone who has lost their job in the gaming sector in the last couple of weeks, my heart goes out to them.
Yeah, and call me a cynical old so and so, but my personal feeling is that a lot of it is shareholder value. If you haven't grown the business in the last year or two, don't forget they came during lockdown. It was like boom time for these guys. They sold more games, they sold more subscription services. The cloud streaming guys sold themselves, and then after lockdown, people went back to the real world and their profits dropped. And so where do you go when shareholders are desperately saying, give us value? Well, you can't generate more sales because actually you don't have any games to put out there. So you get rid of stuff because you cut costs and you can show value. But I think it's cynical. They're getting rid of people that have helped build these businesses, and in a year or two they won't be able to replace them.
Mm-hmm.
That's skill down the drain. That's gone. That's never coming back.
Burnt bridges do not help you cross waterways.
It's true, William, and all it is to keep a few shareholders happy in the short term. That's all it's about.
I mean, I remember when on a previous job I had, we had a colleague. She had been in the company for 16 years, building. She's built, like, it was a software company. She's built so many of these features by herself throughout the years. And then, like, she was let go for some stupid, I think it was some insurance reason, because she was working from another country. And there was like, there goes, like, the amount of money that will lost
Invested.
on the losing that knowledge just from like having to rewrite everything that she's done, relearn everything that she's done.
In training,
that will cost
someone
more
new.
than like several. It was
It's
horrible decision.
Invisible value just gone. It's disappeared.
So definitely. But speaking of layoffs, great, fun segue, happy segue. I just wanted to quickly take a look at this. Obviously, Xbox quarters, the fiscal year 23 quarter 2 results came in I think early this week. Gaming revenue was down 13%. Xbox content and services down 12%. Xbox hardware revenue down 13%. First party and third party content declined. Game Pass subscribers grew though, however, so that's at least one positive. I mean, that's and then that came out like very close to the announcement that Microsoft was laying off 10,000 people. A lot of that in the Xbox sector. But then at the same time, they also say that it also said that Game Pass subscribers is up record high. Game Pass streaming hours is at record highs, and monthly active devices is at the record highs. Monthly active users saw a record of 120 million plus during the quarter. That's at the same time really good numbers, and obviously people have been saying that 2022 was a bad year for Xbox. Now that we've seen a few of the games coming this year, what do you think? How is the future looking for Xbox, especially 2023? But beyond that, well,
I see personally, and I think it's difficult to comment because these are
I agree.
there's no context behind these numbers. I mean, they're saying some things are up. Well, for all we know, they may be up 10 times higher than what they've lost. You kind of need to know what it actually means in the mix, because there ain't no context there. And actually, some of those numbers, if I was them, I would be wanting to see drop because I'm looking to work them out of the business. You know, if as I think it is, their game plan is build the subs and ultimately move to cloud away from hardware, then the fact that hardware sales are down is a good thing because you're not pushing it. You're trying to get all that stock and get rid of it and stop developing for it.
Yeah.
So
but will shareholders agree? I think
depends how this was discussed and revealed to them,
to be fair.
I guess. And I don't know whether shareholders, and depends on which shareholders. I mean, you've got your institutions and your large shareholders like Bill and Miranda, or whatever she's called, Melinda. They're going to be fully on, but they're at directors' meetings. They know what's going on.
Exactly.
But then you've got your millions of smaller shareholders who, as long as the value is still in there, is still trading okay, they're not going to care.
Also, I feel that saying that Xbox is declining or whatnot, I think it just jumps between each company each year, who is the quote unquote on top, you know? So you've seen it over the years is that, like, you know, the big debate, did PlayStation win, did Xbox win? You know, they're always fighting for the top. There's going to be top three. So saying that Xbox is going to be on the bottom of the totem pole, they've been there before, you know, and it's not going to hurt them, you know? It's just more people for needing clickbait titles for their posts. So
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I'd have to say PlayStation doesn't do well on the bottom, and their lineup this year would keep them far from the bottom. I mean, already we've got Forspoken, Spider-Man 2. They're working on Wolverine, Final Fantasy, Street Fighter. I mean, the expansion to Horizon. There's a lot of stuff, and I think PlayStation
PSVR
actively works on staying on top with their software.
Rudix, I have a bone to pick with Sony. I'm gonna have to wait like 2.5 years for the next Spider-Man game to come to PC. Okay, I'm not excited about that wait, bro.
No, William, I've got some good news for you, buddy.
Yeah,
because you can subscribe to PlayStation Plus Premium. Soon you'll be able to stream those PS5 games. You won't need to have a box.
But you won't get that fidelity mode, and I think that's what SPG itches for. And
that's true. You won't get his 4080.
But what you
4090.
What you will get in between, which I could see coming, is the Miles Morales game, which is more or less an expansion to Spider-Man. It's a shorter story, but
I can pick that up on PC. Yeah, I can pick that up on PC for like $30 from CD Keys right now. But I didn't get that because it is like a DLC to Spider-Man. So I got that first, and I loved it so much. I am picking up Miles for sure. But it just, for a PC port, like, if it comes, we're gonna wait a few years. You know, like we did with Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a like bit of a wait.
Though, that would be a great way to. That would be a great way to at least experience the game and be able to play it without the hardware. Yeah, you know, that's what's so awesome about the cloud. Yeah, you know,
unless PlayStation finds success with this simultaneous release, as they did with Forspoken, they could keep trending like that.
Yeah, I think they might not get the.
On what they're going to do with their exclusives. Are they going to double down and triple down on that? Or are they going to continue that route? I mean, they're never going to turn down money.
No.
No, and I think Forspoken might be hurting the
Well, I can
the
say this.
idea that
Sony-
the idea of them releasing on PC day one for exclusives. I think
Sony
Forspoken's doing kind of badly right in the
Say-
reviews right now.
Sony does need to be careful though. People bought PS4s for God of War. They did. My nephew did it. He did it personally for that one game. And it's amazing that people can play God of War on PC. But nobody's gonna. I mean, if he could have played it on PC, he may have had me buy it, and then he played it on my PC. That wasn't available at the time. So, you know, they're gonna have to figure out what they want to do, what kind of models.
Yeah, I think Sony's gonna keep releasing things on PC as well, but I think it might be maybe not 2 years down the line, but maybe like 6 months down the line or a year but down the line. For quite some time.
The whole PS5 streaming thing was semi-speculative anyway, isn't it? Wasn't there like a tiny leak somewhere that I don't think it was
I think it was a brief mention of something like a hint of it in an official thing.
Nobody knows what's going to actually happen.
We don't know the details. We just know that they're looking into
I'm not buying a PS5. That's not happening, guys. That is so far. I would have a Switch if I wanted to spend money.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
More hardware.
Ooh, join Team Switch. Where's my Switch?
I love me some Zelda and Mario, bro, and I have been in withdrawal for many years.
Oh yeah, a lot of people are surprised I have not played a single Zelda game.
No, me and you both, Spectre. It's okay. You and me both, brother.
Why does YouTube show me Breath of the Wild in like 8K 4 resolution? Who's playing Breath of the Wild on PC? Like, if you could do that, SPG, oh my gosh, I've seen some clips of Breath of the Wild, even in 4K.
You can emulate the Switch now.
That's what it is.
But it's not.
How are they getting the 8K though?
No, they're not getting 8K and stuff like that. It's
it's clickbait. I'm clicking on it.
Yeah, you're not doing 8K anyway. But
Well, you just clicked into it.
Whenever you see somebody put 8K or 120 frames, you're not getting that from YouTube.
Right.
You're not. You're gonna see 60. That's what you're getting. Resolutions are different, of course, but you're only getting 60.
The downscaling.
but
Render on
but
YouTube.
it still looks amazing, even at
it looks
1080.
fantastic.
Yeah. But okay, so you can emulate the Switch, but the issue is it's not the same as it's not as competent yet as it is like emulating like Nintendo now or Sega, or even the PS1 now can be emulated quite easily. It's still not emulated very well yet. I imagine I could do it with my 4090. But then I'm also, I'd have to pirate the game in some way because I'm emulating it,
And you don't roll in the Sea of Thieves.
No.
You're an honest and true SPG. By the way,
there's enough free games out there. You don't have to steal them.
I'm enjoying the setup back there. I think this may be the first time I've seen it SPG.
Yeah, it's
looking
good,
really
isn't it?
nice.
It's much better than the green screen.
Green screen, I like it.
Yeah, the 4090 box. Ooh, it looks so sexy.
It is.
Yeah, and the background.
Shots fired.
Yeah. Look at that. I just noticed the little Star Wars heads as well.
I got me
You got
a Darth Vader, a Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the name of the actor that did the voice for C-3PO? Anthony somebody, was it? Or somebody Anthony? Tumbleweed.
I think you are correct in the first name. I just wanted to... Yeah.
And yes, Dorgan, I know you can emulate Switch for sure. I'm just saying it doesn't run as well as running it on a Switch. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, I mean the hardware in the Switch is notoriously old. I mean it's a 2015 NVIDIA mobile chip.
It's basically a Shield.
It is a portable chip.
No way.
I mean, it's basically the same processor, the RAM.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anthony Daniels was the actor. Thank you, right, guy?
Yeah.
Awesome. C-3PO, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He's still around though, isn't he? He's one of the few originals, because obviously R2-D2's gone, bless him. The guy that played Chewbacca, he's no longer around.
Yep, he just passed her a little while ago.
Yeah. All the incidental actors.
Yeah. You guys, what do you think? Going back to Xbox.
Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
Sorry, we went Star Wars, Xbox.
We just said we did go with it.
We go where it goes. Rat holes are us.
Guys down. I'll steer us back on topic. No, but like, what do you think about the year? Like their lineup so far for this year?
For Xbox.
Yeah. Anything worth being excited about?
Nothing. See, I've struggled
You know
with
why?
Xbox for a while now.
I thought Redfall was gonna look so much better than it did for me. I thought it was gonna look like a next gen game, and to me, it looked like something that I've already played before, like Left 4 Dead, kind of with vampires. And I just expected more push graphically and aesthetically for me to be more pulled in. I may be overcritical, and people were saying that's how that publisher and that developer makes games, but that was just my perspective with Redfall.
Well, Game Pass has me all messed up because I'm not excited about a title anymore. I'm excited to have them all and to have them day and date, man.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of titles now. Without Game Pass, I'd miss out on a bunch of them because I'm not paying out of pocket for them all.
Sufficient. Do you know this is true? I've had a Series X since it launched, and that was 2 years ago, coming up.
Yeah.
Somewhere around.
Yeah.
I have never bought a single Xbox game in that time. Not one. They've never enticed me to purchase a game.
Wow.
I've bought a couple on PlayStation, but I mainly rent them. I bought a shed load on Stadia and PC, either Steam or GOG or Epic, but not a single Xbox game. And what did we see just now in those stats about the content being down on sales? You can't have both, can you? If you're going to give games away day and day on Game Pass Ultimate, you can't expect people to be buying games. They're just waiting for the next 2 weeks round of games to come.
But to be fair, though, I think like if you look, we are all outliers in a sense, because I mean,
Well,
the,
I'm not a
the
liar.
majority of majority of gamers, console gamers, they buy 1 or 2 games a year, and it's
They just
not-
have
it's
the
not first party
Xbox,
games.
and that's it. Yeah, no.
Well,
that's
this
fair.
is coming
It's first party
soon.
games. It's Madden, FIFA, Call of Duty.
Like, get this.
that
This
kind of
is
stuff.
That's true.
this is coming soon. To make sure that your game sells a bunch on Xbox is going to be don't put it on Game Pass eventually. And what I mean by that is something that people are excited for, like Scorn or what are we getting? Starfield. Like if that didn't come day and date, whew, they'd sell so many of those because people are like, oh, well, I want to play that. Like,
Yeah, but then you wouldn't subscribe to Game Pass,
Yeah.
and then
I
they would
get
lose
that,
up.
but-
And
lose
that
out
goes
on
back
that
to
money.
Rock's statement of you have to have one,
Yeah,
one
or the other.
So it
But
goes
I mean, I think it's kind of clear what Microsoft want to do. They want to go down the Game Pass route.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And
Because
that's
instead
why
of
they're-
getting $50 from you twice a year, they want to get $20 from you every month
Yeah.
of the year.
Yeah,
Right.
and I mean,
Absolutely
there was this interview with Phil Spencer, I think in November or something like that, or October maybe it was, where he essentially said that they have pretty much tapped out the console market in general, but I think in a lot of sense also the Game Pass market. Like Game Pass is an option for anyone who wants it. If you are an enthusiast gamer like we are, you both most likely get it because it's such a great value. But the people who just want to play FIFA or Madden or Call, they won't bother.
Do they not? Do they
Here's
not
where the
even go
value-
for the basic one?
Yeah, they just buy that one game a year, and
Do
that's
they?
I mean,
Right,
that's
Here's-
80%.
Yeah, my brother would be an example of that kind of lane of gamer. Although he does game frequently, he owns Rainbow Six Siege. That's it. That's the only game he'll play. He won't purchase other games. He'll play
that's
that
most
one
gamers.
for
Is it?
his whole career.
Well, I would just say pay attention because you may be playing more purchase games than you are on Xbox anyway on Game Pass. And it might just be something you have hanging around. You know what I mean? That you actually don't use. Now I do because I play Wreckfest with Ray when he streams it and a few other titles. But yeah, I mean, just pay attention. You may not be playing those games as much as you think you are. You might be playing the games you've purchased. I like to complete games, so lately I've been playing the games I've purchased. But but man, it's just so compelling. They have so many titles. I mean, damn.
Yeah, but I mean, in that interview, Phil Spencer also hinted at like obviously getting into mobile, but also like bringing like one of the reasons why they're doing xCloud in the first place seems to be to expand the audience for for Game Pass to anyone playing games on their phone, which is obviously a massive market. So like they want to bring their library, especially Game Pass, to another audience because they realize we're almost tapped out on the audience we have. If we want to make it keep it growing, we need to find new audiences. If that is releasing Game Pass on PlayStation, or if it's on the like xCloud on the Switch, or if it's mobile, then either way it's fine with them. They just want to have an audience to keep growing too. I think at this point, because they're running out.
Yeah.
But going back to your question about what you think of the lineup, I don't have Game Pass. I do not have an Xbox, so I'm just sort of like living the Xbox life through people here in the community. So I really don't have a say on.
Is that your daily driver though, Spectre? I mean, is that what you play on most days, or is that just that you have one and therefore it's something you play on it occasionally, or?
Oh, I do not own the Xbox.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said you had one, but you don't
I
have
do
Game
not
Pass.
own an Xbox. I
Gotcha.
do not have Game Pass.
Gotcha.
So
No.
the only way I know any Xbox news or games is through the community, through
Gotcha.
streams or something like that.
I'm surprised you didn't opt in to check out the PC Game Pass or Game Pass for PC.
Well, I did for the $1
Oh, for the month?
Yeah,
Okay.
that little promotion. I did do that, and I was able to test it on very low internet speeds, and it was pretty good. But after that, I was just like, yeah, I'm good. That's basically it.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a powerful PC to play PC games on, obviously Game Pass PC is kind of cheap. It's cheaper to have just Game Pass PC, not the Ultimate, and then you only get access to that. But I mean, yeah, I mean, if I also don't have an Xbox, but I do have Ultimate because I do play xCloud on occasion. Most of my phones from my bloody shard that I saw it that I.
But it doesn't matter though, does it? It doesn't
Yeah.
matter where you play. That's the.
Yeah, exactly.
This is
That's
the future
one
of
of the beauties.
gaming. It shouldn't.
Yeah.
It should never be an issue. It's what you want
No, I
to
agree.
play and where and when. That's the key thing.
Yeah, the question in the future would be, do you have that game?
Yeah.
Well, let's play. You know?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and
Yeah.
then there's going to be a bunch of people who say, "Is it on Game Pass?" No. Okay, then I don't have it.
Yeah.
Right?
Just like a lot of people like, "Oh, is it on PlayStation?" No, then I don't have. Like,
Well,
See, that's a really good shout. It's a really
like,
good
is it on
point.
xCloud means a big deal too, because me
Yes.
and David Wilson found out the hard way that just because there's a game on the Game Pass for PC side, if it's not in the cloud, I can't install the PC version and invite him from the Xbox version. It doesn't work
Oh, that's
that way.
like Wreckfest as
So,
well. I can't
yes.
install Wreckfest and play with people in the cloud.
So I have
yeah,
to use
it's a
xCloud.
weird thing. It's a weird
is.
thing.
But soon that's going to be all done away with, is what basically
Mhm.
Rock's saying. Like, that will be a thing of the past where you PlayStation guys, man. Like, no, eventually we'll just be playing the dang game and stuff like that. But it's interesting to see the different side, though, for like being on Stadia and having a cross-play game and having the option to turn that stuff off and have to turn it on. Like, a lot of Stadia people preferred to play with just Stadia players.
Yeah.
And, it's just interesting.
yeah. On the topic of how Game Pass is for developers, I know I've said this before on the show, but I think People Can Fly and Outriders might be one of the outliers. I think because I know that they're not very happy with how things turned out for them. Obviously, I think we all read the news when that released. But I've heard from a few from interviews with a few developers when specifically asked about this topic, like how well good is it for you to be on Game Pass. I mean, there's been a few mentions on like what happens when a game leaves and like how they get a lot of or like when they make a new game, they get a lot of new fans through the game, old game that they had on Game Pass. But also in general, like the amount, like the lump sum of money they get to go on Game Pass is usually enough to fund, like, pay for the entire game development cycle of the game, and possibly even the next one. At least for a small, at least for smaller studios.
They do well from it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And as they did when they were pro games on Stadia. They were guaranteed, as long as that game was opened up, they were guaranteed a fair few dollars for each play. And it's the 80-20, isn't it? If you can get $1 from 80% of everybody versus $20 from 20% of everybody, you go for the 80 every time.
Yeah.
Yep.
definitely. And I mean, that's
Yeah.
the whole MO. And I mean, if you take, like, if you want to do a fun math example, like, I think, like, take the price of Game Pass, not Ultimate, but Game Pass. I think to get an average of, like, not all people have it. Some people are on the trial and everything. So take just $10 a month. Times that with the latest number you can find from how many people have the Game Pass. I think the latest one I saw was 20 million active subscribers or something like that. And then that's the and then remove 70%, and you're left with what Microsoft has in like probable profits per month, and that budget alone, that can pay for several Cyberpunk full development cycles of Cyberpunk, which was a notoriously expensive game to make.
Yeah.
That's how much money they make every bloody month out of that. So yeah, it's like, I get why Microsoft want people to be on Game Pass. It's worth it for them. I honestly think they probably make more money per customer from someone being on Game Pass than they do from someone buying games one game a month.
No, it's a
average.
fascinating model. I'd love to see it in more detail. I'd love to see how it stacks up. But I'm sure it stacks up. We're talking about some of the biggest profitable entertainment businesses in the world investing in that model, so it has to. The numbers have to work. I tell you what's more interesting, though, is where it's not working. And it appears to hit a bit of a wall for Ubisoft. Because, as we've seen just recently, they seem to be falling apart at the seams. 2-3 years ago, they could do no wrong. They had a raft of amazing games. They had some of the happiest staff on the planet. And 2 years down the road, they're on strike. They're unhappy. Their games are being cancelled. They're questioning whether their IPs are the way to go. And the share price is tumbling, and people are cancelling Game Pass. Sorry, not Game Pass. What's it
User
called?
Plus, yeah.
Services,
Yeah, because there's nothing on the horizon for the next couple of months or longer.
Most of their games are pretty much the same skeleton way of playing. It feels like even though it's a different Steve,
it's a different game. But the game is built
feel.
off the same bones, kind of. I get what you're saying.
But then isn't that the case for all developers? They all use the same
it is.
engines, don't they? I mean,
just look at
not engines. No, it's just how it plays. Like, as I said, I was
Right.
playing Steep and all that, and then I switched over to the Crew, and it felt like I was playing Steep, but card version. Because the way how it felt the same way. Like, you get an introduction, and then you have to go through different gear sets, but then that takes a little bit of a grind, and it's weird. It felt the same.
Yeah. No, Dre just asked, did they just release a new game? Yeah, I mentioned it earlier on
Oddballers.
Rock Around the Clock. Oddballers.
I think
it was a bit of a silent launch, really.
Yeah, I think, isn't it like a cartoony handball game? I think.
Yeah, I think it's it's one of those 20% projects that Google does. It's like, we've put a bit of a game together. Just get it out. I don't care what it is. We need some content out there.
Honestly, though, I think like the first trailer I saw, it must have been like 6 months or a year ago at this point. It looks really fun, from what I remember. I haven't seen it in a long time.
I've got it. Release Skull and Bones to only the people that are signed up for Ubisoft Plus. There you go.
I don't think they're allowed to, though.
No, I know. I probably
No, but I think William, I think that's a really good idea. It's what Sony doing.
I mean, it would be an incentive to keep paying for that.
Yeah.
And it would be less of pulling teeth and saying, "Hey, spend $80 on this game,"
or at least give them maybe 3 months with it before it goes to general release.
Yes, that could be a very good incentive.
Yeah,
for the bottom line there.
Yeah. If you pay for the what's it called? Ubisoft Plus. If you pay for Ubisoft Plus, you get. I mean, I know they already say, "Oh, you might get a couple of days earlier." I never did, and they get all the DLCs, but they've got to have them out there.
Happy has an interesting question or a little bit of a point here about Riders Republic. that game was fun. It was entertaining. It looked gorgeous. It had a high player base, and then it just kind of disappeared.
Mhm.
Like nobody's playing it. It had support, at least early on. What are your guys' opinion on that title and why?
I mean, I still jump in regularly just for a quick race or two. It's one of those. It's really fun. Like whenever I don't know what I want to play, it's like I can always go for some Riders Republic. It's always fun. It is one. It's not maybe a game that you want to try to like 100% and like do, and do things like that. It's just a fun little side thing for me. But I really like it.
Feels like
It's really
Steep.
good. Yeah,
But
I mean it's
different,
Steep too.
so-
Essentially.
Yeah, there's more
Yeah.
going on. It's
I
more
always
like a crew,
prefer,
isn't
and
it?
like I do prefer what I'm going to say. Like, I prefer the skiing. Like the skiing is the most fun part of it, and I think that's also because of the fact that Steep is where it all began. I think the
Yeah.
bike stuff and the like flying around and stuff. It's okay, but it's the snowy downhill stuff. That's where the real game is for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
there's,
I'd say don't bury Skull and Bones in the
No.
nice, not just yet, because they like you were saying, William, in the Rock Show, they've gone back, they've looked at where it was failing, they've listened to people like you, in fairness, and your your criticisms, and I think it's going to be a different game when it does eventually arrive.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna see 6 more delays, make it even.
My
12.
My hope is that these
That's
delays,
OCD.
these delays are not going to hurt it like it did with Cyberpunk, because the delay and all that, and then when it got officially released, it was really bad.
I mean,
The
let's
only
be
way
honest.
it worked was on Stadia, which is funny enough.
Let's
That's
be
the way I
honest.
got mine.
Do
Yeah.
does anybody release their game at the date they said they're going to release it the first
No,
time
and
they
does
say?
do any of them release it done? No,
No.
none of them do anymore.
I mean, software's never done, and that's a known. But I mean, there was a time when if somebody said, "Yeah, the game's coming out next May," it would. Now, every time they say we're launching, doesn't matter who it is, the first date is never the date that it actually comes out, is it?
Do you think they have a marketing date which they're fine to push, and then they have a boardroom date where it's
Yeah.
like
Oh,
this
I'm
is
sure.
the actual date that
I
we
think
are
you're
going to
absolutely
do
right.
it?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. A lot of it is marketing. A
Oh,
lot of
yeah,
it is
we
based
definitely-
around what else is coming to market, and
Some
can
of
we-
it is sudden too. Hey, we've
Yeah.
had a meeting and it's crunch
Yeah.
time, boys.
Yeah,
You
we
know?
need to get it out because in February there's the new Call of
Yep.
Duty. And it's like, yeah, but we're nowhere near that. You've only got to read Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, which is it's basically what
It's
the
only
whole
your
book is about.
family and children. You'll have
they'll
more.
understand.
You'll have more children. Just stay here and work.
But I mean, look, as somebody that employs developers, software engineers, quite honestly, if you let them go, they'll go for years before you have a final release. They just, that's just
True.
how they are. So you've got,
Yeah, yeah.
You need
you've
some
got
sort of
to
deadline.
set timelines.
Whenever it comes, or when it comes to art, the artist is never done. You got to pry it from their fingers sometimes. You kind of do. I know editors have issues with their writers because they're like, "No, that's great." Like, I'm not done.
Yeah.
No, but
should
it's good, but you should ship it now. No. I need another 5 years.
Yep.
I think what Doragon says, it's interesting actually, because I would, as I was saying it, I was thinking to myself, funny enough, Sony seemed to be fairly accurate with their release dates. If they say
Yeah, I
they're going to bring out,
Yeah.
Horizon series was
Yeah.
pretty on hit when they said their release it got released.
I
I thought.
believe
All the
Forbidden
Naughty Dog
West
stuff.
was delayed.
Okay.
It was delayed a couple months. But yeah, that's what I know.
remember.
Yeah.
Most
But
of
also,
the Naughty
I think
Dog stuff is.
a lot of that comes down to like initial planning. I know, I've listened to a conversation between Austin Wintory, the composer of Journey, and the guy who makes the guy who was lead audio designer on It Takes Two. Like the fact, like in general, most games have maybe like 2 or 3 hours of music, for example. A big game like Cyberpunk, or probably had, I think that was one of the longest soundtracks. That was 6 hours of original music written for that game. It Takes Two is a 15-hour game. It had 16 hours of music, and like it's the same. And then it was the same amount of everything in that game. It's anything from level design to art assets to It actually takes more than 2.
Sound design is very
and, like,
interesting. It's not just the music; it's the ambient sounds and
Yeah.
everything, all the
Sound
sound effects, everything. And what he said in that conversation was like, yeah, we like it all came down like we didn't do any crunch at all. Basically, they had every other like 4 or 5 times a year they had they took a Friday evening, made like an after work of it, but after work with pizza, beer, and they kept working. And then they also got paid extra for that. And they did that every now and then, and like it all came down to good planning initially, like from the very start, and like good follow up on the planning as well. Like this week we're doing this. How are we doing on these things? Every day, check up on that every day, and then if they're falling behind, or if one team was falling behind, and another team was in like a bit ahead, they would be like, hey, can we borrow one of you guys for next week just to get up to speed on this thing? And that just good management and good planning will get you so far. Like I've seen people say that crunch is proof of bad management, and I think in general there is some truth to that. But of course, there's also shareholders screaming for a release. Probably has a lot to do with it as well. And yeah, I mean, who wouldn't work a few hours extra for some pizza and beer?
Well, some of the places that hire do that kind of stuff. Twitter, Facebook. They'll be like, hey, we'll feed you breakfast and lunch, but lunch comes at 6. People usually leave by 5, or dinner's usually at 6. So people will usually work longer to get the dinner meal. They'll come in early to get the breakfast. And to them, they're getting fed and stuff, but it does give you more productivity for them. It's just interesting. Yeah. I don't know.
It's like I remember when every Black Friday we have at work it's a big thing. People usually have to work like 24/7 throughout that day just to make sure that all systems are fine. And I mean, both these years I've been like I happily take the worst shift because we get like they usually bring out the massive taco buffet. It's nice. Like,
I haven't seen your massive taco.
Lots of tacos.
Tacos.
It's like,
sorry.
Yeah, but it's like it's generally just a party vibe. Even though everyone's going around like any minute now, we will get like we might get an alarm and then everyone has to jump into work and sweat and everything will be shit. But there's such a happy vibe and like party vibe throughout the whole thing. It feels like an after work in all sense. So I happily take that like night shift, and I think if some food and drink and fun times can get you a long way. You don't have to force your.
Do you know we used to do all that stuff as well, but in the last few years, I've encouraged all my team to finish at 5:30 and go home. And if there's never an issue. If we're ever likely to be a little late on a project, then we have a grown-up conversation with the client. But rather than trying to whip the staff to death. And I know it's different when you're young. You're like a young pup like you, Bjorn, and the idea of beer and pizza until 4 a.m. is like being back at university. But there comes a point where it wears thin, and I personally think you get more out of your staff if you just let them have a life. And then we have that conversation with the client. Look, guys, you want this feature, and quite honestly, it's taking more work than we expected. But I'm not having my guys work until midnight or 1 a.m. so that you
can. For sure.
You probably get better quality work as well. If you're like, hey man, hey, if you're not done, it's fine. 5, go home, come back refreshed. You probably get better work. Yeah.
But I think I mean, in general, I like 99% of days, I would definitely agree. But then, I mean, if you have the need for it, you like to do every once, twice a year, then it's fine. I feel it's fine to do once or twice a year as a fun thing if you make it fun for everyone.
Like a hackathon or something.
Yeah. But don't make it a regular thing, which too many companies in the video game industry seems to do. But I also feel like the industry itself is moving away from that, which is nice to see. Obviously,
it is good. Yeah.
All right. Well, there's been fun conversation, but I need to bounce. So
bless you, brother.
Thank you bless you for being here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Cheers, dude.
And guys, don't forget to check out everything Inspector does.
Oh, that stinks, Demigoddess. No tacos, no pizza, No food, just whipped.
Bjorn had just said, "Check out everything Spectre does," and William said, "That stinks." I was thinking, well, that's a bit rude.
Oh no! Well, I know what I've got to go clip now. Damn. Sorry, N7.
Oh dear. No, he does some amazing content. Amazing content.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
He does.
And
he does some
and
really
the-
good GFN stuff.
Definitely go check out his Marvel Sun streams because they're cool. He explains how you play the game, and it looks incredible.
Yeah, it's a really cool game.
Yeah.
And he's a really cool guy. So, and if anyone watching wants to take the slot that the spot that just opened up, or rather we have, we vacated. We have a lot of open spots. We unlimited amount of spots, I think. So,
but I do get to zoom in now on our other guests, which is quite nice. And
Yeah,
that little, and you know, you see, look at this thing of beauty, a face that launched 1,000 ships. Yoga at work. Martin had yoga at work. Ooh.
Yeah,
Is that
we,
like
we had
yogurt?
that.
Yogurt?
we
No,
had
it's
that.
yoga.
Yeah, yoga. We had a lot of that at work. Like I think once a week there was a yoga session, and I always found a reason not to go.
Yeah. You mean you don't like doing the double dog or whatever it's called, or the
Downward
downward dog.
That's the fella.
The double dog.
I was thinking hot dog. Sorry, I was
I think you're doing yoga wrong.
food.
I
Yeah,
double-
exactly.
I double dog dare you to try
Yeah.
some yoga.
Do you want mustard with your double dog? Yeah, I'll have to.
Yeah, the best yoga
the way it
position is
comes.
is the hot dog.
Yeah. Did we get through the news, or did we? Stall?
No, I think we've exhausted the main topic. We've gone through the regular news, but
I was gonna say if you wanted to. High
yeah,
on
you-
Life was one of my favorite games the last few months. Talking about games that have come through from that were playable day and date on Xbox. And of course, Justin Roiland of Adult Swim fame, who did Rick and Morty
yeah.
and a whole bunch of stuff, was behind it. And was also the voice of the main gun. He actually resigned this
There you go.
week from Squanch and other
Yep.
places. I don't know the ins and outs, you may know, but it's to do with some domestic abuse charges, sadly,
Yeah.
behind the scenes, which are obviously strong enough that he's literally dipped out of everything.
the recasting Rick for Rick and Morty as well.
Are they?
Yeah,
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not good. Not good at all.
yeah. He faces felony domestic abuse charges.
What does that mean? Felony domestic abuse?
Felony means that it is the most serious charge you can get
Oh,
is a felony. Yeah.
wow. So it's proper criminal stuff then.
Yes.
Yeah, corporal injury and one count of false imprisonment by menace, violence, fraud, or deceit based on allegations. An alleged 2020 incident.
Yeah.
He's pleaded not guilty to.
He's
Okay.
being removed from some of the stuff he's involved with, and he's also been asked to step down from a few others. It's sad all the way around. I have no idea personally, what kind of person he is or anything, but he's certainly getting canceled for sure.
So he's saying he's innocent ahead of any court case, or is? I mean,
Yeah.
sorry, it's a question. I'm not.
I don't know.
No. Okay.
Yeah, it's
He's apologized and done
there we go.
something.
His lawyer has issued a statement saying that not only is Justin innocent, but we also have every expectation that this matter is on course to be dismissed once the district attorney's office has completed a methodical review of the evidence.
See, this is a thing. This is a long-standing beef of mine. My personal belief is that somebody's name and reputation shouldn't be dragged through public discourse until they've been to court and then they're there or they're found guilty. That's not to suggest that he isn't guilty. I haven't got a clue either way, and I'm not that
Yeah.
interested. But I've seen so many people's careers destroyed because, everybody thinks you're guilty before you get to court. It's no such thing as innocent until proven guilty. Everybody believes you're guilty. And so, I don't know about him. He's probably wealthy enough that it's not a big issue, but there are certainly plenty of people who have been accused of things that have subsequently it's all been thrown out, but that gets column inches versus the front page and the social memes and everything else, and they never work again, at least never
Yeah.
to the level that they did. I just think you should be allowed anonymity until you're proven guilty, or the day that you're in court, and it's kind of irrelevant then. But that's just a personal thing. I see it in the UK all the time. We have the worst gutter press in the UK, in the world. They are evil, and they will just rip you apart, and they will lead to your death, Princess Diana. This is what they do, and if it doesn't matter. They don't care if you're innocent or you're guilty, because you're just a story.
Yes.
And they'll rip you apart and
You're a
destroy
headline
your
that's gonna
life.
sell. Yeah.
They know there's no empathy.
Yep.
And I don't know whether Justin, he may well be, royally guilty, but I just feel
Doesn't
that
have to be true. Doesn't even have to
No.
even resemble reality. It doesn't matter.
No.
It's going to sell some papers, or
Yeah. We've covered it. I've happened to jump in and say, look, he actually says he's innocent. I bet there are plenty of places that haven't even noted that. So you just assume the guy has, and what impact's it likely to have on the sale of anything that he's been involved with? Is it going to impact High Life? Is it going to?
Yeah. Well, regardless of how this shakes out or his career moving forward, he is quite a talent, and it just, who knows what he would have done or could have done, and who knows if he's actually canceled. Maybe this all turns around. Who knows? I don't know. I know that you're watching Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
But there was a controversy with Chris Hardwick a while back.
Who's he? What characters he play?
No, he's not a character. He does all the promotions for like The Walking Dead. He does the Talking Dead.
Oh yeah. I've seen him. Yeah.
Yes.
Guy, he wears a suit and a tie and.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they tried to cancel him,
Right.
and he came back to the show and everything.
What? Okay. What was the context then?
Abuse, domestic stuff.
Okay. Right, okay.
That an ex came out of the thing and said a bunch of stuff, and
classic, isn't it?
yeah, and he was tried in the court of public opinion.
Yeah.
And then when the businesses all did their investigations, they said, there's not much to this. It's all rubbish. So they let him come back. But in the meantime, he was crucified and was all over Twitter, and you know how it goes. you know?
Yeah.
He must have made a deal with the devil, because I feel like once people make their decisions in their mind, which they do in the first 5 minutes of hearing something, that's the direction they're set on.
That's it.
Well, they'll read the headline and then close off and not even know what the rest of the story was anyway, too.
Well, you see that on social, don't you? People see a headline, and there may even be a pasted link to the full article, but they stop at that headline. That's enough for me. You've
And I think for a lot of these things as well, you got to like. I mean, I think it's different for everyone. I have a friend of mine. She is not able to do this at all. But for me, it's the opposite. I have very easy to do it, and it's like if you can try to disconnect the art from the artist. Like if the story turns out to be true, and then I mean that doesn't have to change the fact that High on Life is a really fun game. Like you're still allowed to enjoy it. It's a whole. Everyone saying like we should boycott Hogwarts Legacy, and it's already one of the best-selling games of this
House
year.
of Cards.
But I do understand how hard it is to give somebody the benefit of the doubt when you've heard they've done vile things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. But also, like, if you like, for example, I mean, in the context of, for example, of Hogwarts Legacy, like, that's more of a like maybe a matter of opinions and views, and I don't share the views of J.K. Rowling at all. But at the same time, I really like the whole world of Hogwarts.
Yeah, and Jim. He brings up an interesting one. Johnny Depp, that was in the media, like fully.
Yeah, he was
all of
home
his
quartered.
Yeah, man, and he was drugged through the mud, and he even had to put all of his dirty laundry right on Front Street, and even answer questions, incredible questions. Like I don't know, it is an interesting thing the way the media and fame and all these things play together. Yeah, it's very interesting.
And I think a lot of the when in a lot of cases it's also like. I mean, it's up to each and everyone. Like, if you want to, or if you're in and are fine with like separating the art from the artist, and if you're not, then you're not, and then that's perfectly fine. But if someone else is, then they should be allowed to. you're allowed to enjoy something that someone bad made.
No, I really like that, Bjorn. I've heard it a few times. But it is hard to do, but I think it's important to do, to separate. You know, how many of our favorite musical artists, I mean, look at people like Phil Spector, for example. You know, when you look under the surface, some of them are pretty nasty people. But
I've got a great one for you. Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
He did the Fat Albert. Kids watch that show. I grew up with it.
Little Bill was one of my favorite kids shows. You know, the little cartoon character stuff. But you know, nasty human being on other levels. But you cannot knock the guy's output because creatively he was on another level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But on the top
sorry, Bjorn, but the other thing, William, is it doesn't end with persecuting him. So the minute you say, I'm no longer going to watch this show, well, now you've just stopped the royalties for every actor, for the writers, the musicians, the director, the producer, the people that have invested in the shows, you know, the merch sellers, the distributors. These are massive ecosystems. You've got to, as you rightly said, Bjorn, try and separate the art.
And that is why I don't shit on games that weren't made for me, because of all of that effort and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but
so many people do, though, don't they? Reviewers get games that they would never normally play, and the first thing they say is, "Well, this is rubbish, and this is this and that." And it's like, well, that's not your genre,
right?
You know, I mean, every one of us here probably has a particular game, a favorite game that we love, that everybody, the rest of us would think was dire. But, well, look at that handsome face.
Now listen. Just hold on a minute, Rock. Hold on. You know how many times they try to cancel the Cowboy? I had Stadia Pro Gaming try to cancel the Cowboy.
Hey.
Try to cancel Bjorn.
He's even knocking his own mic out.
Yeah.
Do you know, we only got half of that, mate, because your mic kept cutting out with the levels. It was so high. It was like,
all right, that's not cool. All right. Well, can you hear me now?
Of course we can.
Yeah.
Your normal.
So what I
stuff.
tried to say was Stadia Pro Gaming tried to cancel the Cowboy. Rudig's tried to cancel the Cowboy. Bjorn tried to cancel the Cowboy.
Bjorn? Is he from the ghetto?
Hey, listen, that's how you got caught on my way. But let me tell you something.
I was working really hard at canceling the Cowboy. That's
Yeah.
Two nickels for every time. Rock, if I had 2 nickels for every time somebody tried to cancel the Cowboy, I'll have as much money as Rudig's. But you know what?
You love it. You are like a magnet to controversy.
Rock, you know, I never said a bad word in my life.
Never. I've never said a bad word about you.
See?
No.
But guys, how you guys doing?
Very good, dude. How are you doing?
I am doing great,
Not
man.
successful in taking you down, obviously, if you're coming up here.
Hey, listen, man. I don't have everybody and their mom have a problem with the Cowboy because I did nothing wrong, right? SPG, and I'm still here. They can't get rid of me.
You're definitely still here, brother.
There's a space up on his third shelf for your head, though, Ant. He's got a space right there. He could just shovel that off and make room for you.
There you go. I want to sit right next to that 3090 box.
You got it.
Oh man.
So what have we got?
Guys.
Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, since we got into the topic of it, I figured, have you guys seen the new gameplay and like the first looks that some people have gotten, because they flew out a bunch of creators over to London this week to show off the game to them. There's been a bunch of videos coming out, and yeah, as Anne said, it's looking like, for early impressions, is really good.
Yeah.
And I mean, considering.
It looks beautiful. I don't know how compelling the mechanics are going to be, but everything looks great that I've seen. I think it's going to be one of the first very polished titles we get this year.
Yeah, and they've confirmed that first of all, they confirmed you can swim, not underwater, but on water. They have confirmed it's offline, single player, no microtransactions.
Nice. That's incredible.
Wow.
And like just to like put things into context here, the previous game these developers did was the licensed game Cars 3.
Wow.
Oh wow.
So like and like they've been making games.
That's
for
like outright
15, 20
games going
years.
to Cyberpunk. You know, it's
Yeah.
great.
I mean,
Yeah, like,
like
they've been making
SPG
games-
was saying, I don't know about those gameplay mechanics, although it may look extremely beautiful.
Yeah, early
I
impressions.
mean,
are
I
all
myself
is
am not
good.
from the UK world and universe, so I'm not. I don't have this Harry Potter.
What are you saying? The UK
don't-
universe.
Dude.
You don't have Harry
World.
Potter.
You guys got a hard on for Harry.
I
No,
can't
so-
stand Harry
so
Potter.
many-
The whole
You're a
world.
wizard, Harry.
Yeah, so many Americans
not
is
as
I know
popular.
so many people who love Harry Potter, man.
Hey,
Yeah,
I was Harry
Americans
Potter in
love
a play,
Harry
lead
Potter.
role. It's just I'm just not that excited to go to high school and be a wizard. But
Oh yeah. So listen,
that may
there's
not
gonna
be the
Interested
popular
in the,
opinion.
you want the college experience. I get it.
Ah,
Rudy.
yeah, I want the college years. I want the
Yeah.
college years.
Yeah, the
Gem has
meth
figured
years.
it out here.
Harry
though.
Potter's meth years. That's what he
Yeah.
wants.
I feel Gem has
what
figured
you-
it out in
what-
chat. UK cinematic universe. The next movie is going to be
that's
James
UK
Bond
Cinematic
taking down
universe,
Dumbledore.
yes.
Oh wow.
I would watch that.
Exactly.
Put some more magic up your nose, Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you,
But
I mean,
it's
if you,
like you guys said, not everything is going to be for everybody, right? So Root Dicks,
No,
you
no,
could be
sure.
that. You know, it's fine if you don't like
Yeah,
it. You
yeah.
know?
Oh yeah, no, I may very much like it. I mean, I've not seen combat. I've not seen really what it's about.
Oh, you
but
got to look it
I'm-
up.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to watching other people play it. I think that's how I will ingest this
They-
game to start
They
with.
made
so.
fighting with a wand compelling. Give them some
Yeah.
credit, man.
Yeah.
It's a little
How,
stick you
um,
point at
The
somebody.
gameplay mechanics.
I
are
just
pretty
like my little digs at it because it's fun.
his Rudigs, how close is it to the canon of Harry Potter, though? I mean, does it
that's a good
contribute
point.
to it, or is it just complete? Just does it
I
just
think they-
borrow the names of the place they go to school? And
I
No,
think
there's-
they place it to in the late 1800s, so it's before
Yeah, I think
everything else.
Well, no, what Rock is
400,
saying
400
is-
years, right?
What Rock is saying is much
Hmm.
like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings. There's dogma in the world. How much does it follow it? Like,
I think
spells
to
and-
the,
it follows it
very
pretty darn
very
close
much
with all the houses
but
and-
with yeah, I think it's very they follow it very closely, but at the same time. You are a 15-year-old who go around and use the unforgivable curses
Rock,
to kill,
this is the,
kill people left and right. So
this is the
there's
first.
a bit of a back and forth on it. But
Okay.
in general, like I think 80% at least is probably canon.
It's the first
Okay.
time you can explore the castle like fully. It's the
not
first
only the
time-
castle and the castle grounds,
The
but like,
grounds,
the
yes.
entire area, like a massive area
Ooh.
around it as well, with like villages and some farms and hamlets around like, in the area
Okay.
around.
See,
you can play on
I'd
your
be
route.
prepared to play it without worrying about the fact that it's from the Harry Potter universe. For me, it's more what I'm hearing about the scale of the game and the detail in the game. That's what would do it for me.
Yeah,
Because I'm not a fan of. I've said this on my own show. I'm not a fan of any kind of upper class British crap. I mean, I hate it, and I live here. So that doesn't do it for me either, Rudigs. But it's having said that, as a game, I quite like the look of it.
Yeah.
In no less a way than Forspoken has some of these elements as well, of course.
yeah, and I think they really nailed down a lot of the details. And I think that's why a lot of fans, like Harry Potter fans, are really excited about it. Like the just simple things like when you unlock finish a quest, you get it's like in all these games you get a faint melody to show you you completed this. They've taken the Harry Potter theme and done some variations to it and in a really
You have
nice
a common. You have a common area that you can design. I forget if
Yeah.
it's your personal area or what, but
it's
my
a
wife,
room of requirements. So it's
Yeah,
your
like
personal
the
area.
tower.
room
in
of
Destiny.
requirements. Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
like
Okay.
you
you can
design it all
furnish it.
yourself,
Wow.
and
You have
and you
an
fill
menagerie
it with
with-
lore from the game or from the Harry Potter world. And
Yeah.
my wife is super excited for me to play the game, but for her to design the room.
Uh-huh.
She
Yeah.
wants to make it hers. Yeah.
So this
Let me
comes out
ask you guys
10th of
this.
Feb,
Do-
yeah?
Yeah, 10th of Feb.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
Do
buy
you
this
think
just
it's a
because I can
miss?
play it. Because
Mm.
when she's home, she'll watch it.
My kids will want to play this.
Did-
Sorry, go on,
Do you,
Cal.
do you think it's a missed opportunity that it doesn't have multiplayer?
No,
I can't stand multiplayer, so definitely not. for
not
me.
not every
Oh,
game
wow.
has to have multiplayer.
I
think
want to play
this is one of
Quidditch
those-
against people.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
a fair
right.
shout. Yeah, that's a fair shout. Maybe
Quidditch
that's a
is
DLC.
not, you can't play. Yeah, and it probably will be because I saw a long, an hour-long video about what
Now-
He knows
discussion
more about
about
Harry
Now,
Potter than he gives out. See, Quidditch, he was there
Quidditch
with
is
it.
not in the
Cowboy.
game.
I will say that the one thing
I just like
some
to
people
poke.
are let down about is that the Quidditch isn't in the game, and if they did have Quidditch in the game, then you could have a multiplayer because you could have
Yeah.
4 to 8 people on each side, and they're all trying for the snitch and all that
Yeah,
stuff. But
but again, I think this comes down to again like the whole fact that this is the one the first really big game this studio has done in probably forever, and like for a lot of the it's a massive title for them, and it's a massive title for Warner Brothers. So I think in a lot of ways it was probably Warner Brothers shaking like, right, let's try this out. Let's try this studio out with a proper AAA. They've never done that before, really. Let's try out the Hogwarts brand, see if you can make that work with AAA gaming. And if that works, then we'll double down on the IP and studio and see what else we can do. And I think already, this has been I don't think there has been a game topping the sales chart on Steam this far ahead of the release since Red Dead 2. I think that, and before that probably GTA 5. So this is not just playing in the big leagues. This is playing in the upper 5% of the big leagues in terms of how well it's selling before release even.
well, and I would rather have polished quality than have some kind of multiplayer element shoehorned in at the last moment
Yeah,
to
these
get
devs
people
have
to play
been-
together.
I agree.
Yeah,
you know.
it seems like the developers have been really good at saying right, what can we do, what can't we do? One of the other things they've done is say, can we release day and date on last gen consoles and Switch? They decided no. We'll release February 10th for current gen consoles and PC, April 4th for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and then July 25th for Switch. So to give themselves time to optimize.
Okay.
Which is also most studios probably would have said no, we can't, no, and just gone maybe February 20th instead. But they went, no, this is how we want to do it. We can't do all of
great
this. at once.
date.
That's
We
good.
can't build a Quidditch minigame to this. It's not going to be good, so we're just going to cut it completely. And respect to that, I say.
There's only baseball in space, isn't it? I mean, does it?
I mean,
can't be
kinda.
that hard.
Baseball meets football or soccer for you Americans. Don't know what
Baseball.
real
I meant
football is.
basketball. Oh, you see.
Yeah, basketball
Yeah,
meets
I think
football.
Yeah,
that's
nothing
something
like
that
baseball.
everybody loves multiplayer or co-op, right? But I miss the big, expansive single-player adventures. I really do. I miss them because you can go into a town, a village, a world, and change it just for your presence being there. I love that kind of stuff, and it just feels like we've missed out on a lot of that lately because of battle royales and PvP and PvE
Souls
games.
likes,
Yeah.
rogue likes.
I'd like to get back to some of that.
I
adventure.
totally agree with you, mate. Totally agree. I was thinking the same thing myself. That's one of the reasons I'm drawn to this game. Not in any way, shape, or form because of Potter, because I've never read a book and I can't stand the films, but simply because it's a game the kind of game I love, and we're not seeing them anymore because they're all chasing the same kind of game because that's been successful recently, and they're not games that I specifically like. I like a kind of Ragnarok and these kind of open world things. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and I think this will be another one of the really good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching some gameplay of the combat. It looks intriguing. I mean, he's using his magic spell, although he's got some also other magic that he's controlling with his hands. He can move people. He has like a whip thing. So it seems they're giving you a wide variety of items to use in combat.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks compelling. How
Definitely.
well those things come together and work together, I don't know, but it looks beautiful. And just to for somebody that really loves that world, to be able to fly around the entire school, which is just going to be mind blowing to
Yeah.
them. They're gonna, the places they've thought of being before, they get to visualize it now.
Yeah, and a lot of these places that has only been mentioned briefly or in the books, and have now been fully realized. And a lot of these places that has been someone mentions it in passing, and then there was a room like this back in the day. That's been realized, but also the fact that you can Harry Potter, Hogwarts is known for having these staircases that move that make it hard to navigate the hallways. I kind of like interested in how they do that, because that's gonna be a nightmare to navigate, but also a lot of fun. So yeah, I think it's one of those. I think it
cool,
might be
isn't
the
it?
biggest game of this year.
I love
and
the fact that
it
you can
comes from-
be running around on the ground and then just instantly jump on your broomstick and you're up in the sky and flying
Yeah.
about the place.
That's-
Which reminds me of Anthem in many ways, which was another great game that I mourn the fact that they never did anything more with it. They just kind of kept it. Still, I think you can still play it, can't you, William? I think if you fire it
I
up,
think you can. I think you
Yeah.
can. But the sad part is with some of those types of games, some of them are so fun, but they got the loot so far off from the game that it
they
broke
did.
it. You know, that it broke it. Like,
Yeah, there was nothing. You got no loot. It was, there was things wrong, but they were easily fixable.
yeah,
But
you'd
it-
think so. Yeah.
yeah,
It had good bones. Like, and
It
it looked
did.
really neat flying and stuff. Like,
yeah.
it looked cool. It really did. I didn't
really
play it
enjoyed it.
myself, but yeah.
Happy
10
the Hogwarts Legacy is out February 10th.
February the 10th. Yeah, and you can win it on my channel.
That you can.
Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, I've got it up on my YouTube now. I mean, graphically it looks okay. I wouldn't have said it looks amazing, but it looks overall like a fun game.
Yeah, definitely. I
What's
think
the
we'll be one of
rating
the,
on it? Is it like a PG game?
Oh, look at that. They're the legendary version. You can start playing February 7th for all you sneaky guys that paid 80 or 120, however much it is.
Yeah, and I think if you do that on the PS5, you also get there's a special mission that otherwise will cost $10 too, like a mini DLC.
Or you can buy it on Fanatical for 43 quid rather than 70 quid on PlayStation.
Yeah.
I know which one I'm going for.
But
Yeah,
then you don't get
absolutely.
that DLC. I think that's a time exclusive for PlayStation.
But you know, I mean, how old are you, Bjorn?
We don't
Do you
care.
genuinely need a blonde wig for your
No.
character for an extra 20 quid?
I think it's like a small map. It's like a mini DLC.
You know, none of that stuff ever counts
No,
for
it
a
doesn't.
row of beans. It's like, oh yes, I
Doesn't
got
matter
this
at all.
gold. I got the golden hind ship with my pirate character. Oh, whoopee
I
for
thought-
you!
I thought this was pay to win. Why isn't this helping?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So guys, you were talking about games, right? And so as far as SPG made a good point. He's like, hey man, I missed the games when it was one player, right? And then I kind of got into multiplayer because I got so into Destiny for many years. So I always think, wow, let me do more with people. So as you guys know, my current favorite game is Marvel Avengers, and they announced to close it. But one thing I learned from Destiny, and that I'm kind of don't like, is when everything becomes a live service MMO and you just chase loot. So I actually got excited that Marvel was shutting down because they said the servers will still stay up and they were going to give you everything. So here's what they did for me. They pretty much turned it into an action adventure game now. Because now now that you won't get any new loot, people are just played it if people still play it. But I'm just going to play it as if it was like SPG, like you played Spider-Man. So imagine Spider-Man just had a multiplayer mode and let you just run around and enjoy it with your friends. So what do you guys think versus live service, where you pretty much chasing loot, and that's the fun of the games. They constantly chase loot versus you play a game, and the fun of the game is just to beat bosses and play with your friends.
I hate live service. And let me tell you why. The idea sounds amazing. Hey, we're going to have a game and we're going to keep it active. We're going to keep it alive. We're going to keep you coming back for more of this content. The problem is it's effing lazy. Almost all the content that they give you, it's drip fed. It's kind of, the only game that really does a really good job is like Destiny. And what I mean by that is they revolutionize the game every so many times and then and change it. Most games don't do that. You get trickled out garbage. It feels like, and it's supposed to bring you back, and there's just nothing really there to it. Take Red Dead Online for an example. When all the major content stopped, it wasn't compelling anymore. Somebody had to still go in there and find deals and try to make it compelling for you to return, but there was nothing there for them to do it with. Hey, we're going to put beans on sale again for 20 cents. Well, who cares? Who cares? Like, I don't know. So to me, live service games and procedurally generated games, those are the two that turn me off right away. I mean, I'll give them a chance. I will. But I don't like live service. I don't.
And I mean, to be honest, like I tried Avengers on Stadia for a bit, and I mean it was fun, but at the same time, like the Avengers without the live service part of it honestly intrigues me more. Like I might pick it up after they like soon and you know play it in my own time. To be honest, because I did enjoy the little I played of it, but it's like I didn't have any interest in live like multiplayer and live service stuff at all, and never touched that at all in the like 5 hours I gave it.
See, I can't stand end of level bosses. So I just want to.
Well, I think Breakpoint would have been a much better game if it wasn't made live service, in my opinion.
Okay.
Breakpoint was an amazing game, but they kept trying to keep it alive, and
yeah, I think in general a lot of these like most games, like if like there are a few games that do live service really well. Most of them are MMOs. Like Destiny 2, Guild Wars 2,
World of Warcraft.
But the World of Warcraft, yeah, maybe arguably.
I think Fortnite is doing a great job.
Far Cry.
No, Fortnite. I think Fortnite is doing a great job.
They're doing licensing after licensing after licensing just to keep people coming in. I think they're reaching a bit of
they have a nostalgia sledgehammer. They have a nostalgia sledgehammer, and they're just like, you like Star Wars? Whack! You like Spider-Man? Whack!
But you know what they do that I admire, and I don't really play it. Also, Rudigs, I'm not that big into Harry Potter either, but I like to give credit where credit is due. But I think what Fortnite does well is every 3 months is a new season, and they change, like either the stage will get destroyed and be something different. And I think that's interesting that the developers are like, okay, every 3 months we got to do something different, right? Whether we add this or add that. On top of them getting a license deal, and that I give them credit for, because they're trying for their fans. They're trying to reinvent the wheel every so often.
Genshin Impact is another one of those good live service games, but I think I would struggle to come up with more than maybe 10 to 20 good live service games. And if you remove MMOs from it, it's like even low, like half of that is gone. So I think like in general, live service is great if you do it right. But 90% of games who try it don't get there, unfortunately.
What I would love to see is more games do what Outriders did. Remember, Outriders came out, the developer said, listen, it's not a live service game. Not even sure if we're going to add new content, but it's a story mode and it's multiplayer, and you'll have fun playing it. And so it doesn't put you on the hook to say, we're going to continue this forever. No, we're going to allow you to play games with your friends, or you can play the one-player mode. You beat the game, then you beat the game, and or you could play it with your friend.
They had
that was that.
End game content is basically a live service game. That game was going to continue to live through the end game content, and that was through drops.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, it's still got kind of the same. Outriders, they originally said that they don't know if they was going to keep adding like DLCs and everything. It's just going to be what you get is what you get. Then they added that one DLC, so that was like a plus, a bonus. So what I'm saying is like if Spider-Man that you was playing just had a like back in the day, we had a lot of games that had a one-player mode and multiplayer, but the multiplayer wasn't live service or forever. You just kind of played it just to have fun. You know what I mean? So you wasn't on this.
I think there's the mentality of gamers today. It's not enough of a carrot to keep them coming back because they just get bored so easily. People need that ever-changing new loot, new min-max. They need it's hard to stimulate the minds of today versus older gamers who just want to sit back, chill, mess around, like GTA Online. That's why GTA Online is so huge, right? Because that's what it is. You can just go in there, mess around with your friends. They're updating it all the time, sure, but the core of it is just hanging out with your friends and all.
Right, but if they put more effort into the core combat, made that more fun, would they have to keep doing all those damn drops? Like, I know that's the core function of that game, though. I think
that's a symptom of economy because they just got to keep getting things out there for people to buy.
Oh, gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's like mentality and gameplay. It's like they're juggling all these balls in
Yeah,
the
it's
air.
kind
and
of the
making
same
this
thing as
product.
like if you, I don't know how many of you guys, how many of you play like Paradox Grand Strategy games, but Paradox has, they've perfected this business method of having like they sell a game for about $40 when it releases, and you can usually pick it up quite cheaply over the year after a while on sales. But then they have like I think twice or 2 to 4 times a year they release a DLC, and that adds new features, adds new content, but it also comes with a free patch that adds maybe half of that, so like half of what the DLC adds is free with the patch, and then then all the content on top of those new features that they add is then paid for, and then they do that like 2 to 4 times per year for all of their games, and they've been doing it like, and then they keep the money they get from that supports these games for, I think some of these games are still getting DLC and are like, I don't know, 10 years old at this point almost. And they are single player grand strategy games. They're not nothing like for the Fortnites of the world. But then they also get a lot of crap for that.
I think what makes something like Destiny, I remember when Anthem came out, and I think what made Destiny special is it also had multiplayer, PvP, right? So you can run around with your friends forever, and then eventually at some point, I think people get a little bored. So Destiny felt like a bunch of different games in one, right? If you just wanted to do team stuff with your friends, cool. But if you also wanted to run around and go against your friends and other people, that kept people stimulated, at least for me, because I was more of a PvP guy. But I loved the other part as well. And I think stuff like Anthem, eventually I loved it, but I was like, man, it would be so cool if they had PvP when you kind of got tired of doing that. Same thing with Avengers. So I think Destiny is doing something really special. Destiny, Warframe, stuff like that.
Warframe is just it's this huge thing that people rarely think about. But when between Destiny 1 and 2, I think it was probably 6 months or a year. That's all I played was Warframe. It scratched so much of that itch. Trouble is to get back into it now. It's a struggle for me, but it's such a good game on so many levels. But it's also, if you're not prepared to buy stuff, you have to spend days and weeks making things, which is a bit of a pain. But yeah, it's just an unsung hero, that game, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, guys, I think we've been going for almost 2 hours, and at least I probably need to wrap up quite soon. And
well, you've grown an extra inch of beard, mate. It's impressive to see. He was in Beowulf that I watched last weekend.
Yeah,
young Bjorn. He was in that movie. You want to check it out? He's in it. He's one of the main characters.
I can't do it.
Reggie?
Trying to do a Chewbacca.
Yeah. But guys, before we go, of course, we can't drop off without doing the obligatory what's happening for everyone this week. So Ant, why don't we start with you? What's up? What's coming up?
I'm very excited, man. Today I'm starting a wrestling league. So one thing I wanted so bad to do on Stadia is I wanted to do a wrestling league, and I waited for WWE to come, but it didn't. So I was late to playing the game because I was putting it off for Stadia to get it, but they didn't. And so I finally got it, and I still wasn't really into it. So now finally, after all this time, because the new game's about to come out in 2 months, so talk about late. But today will be the first episode of my wrestling league. So I'm excited, man, just to play that game. In regular life, I hosted a wrestling league for about 15 years straight, every Sunday. And so me, my brother, friends, my son, I watched my son grow up playing that game as a little kid. And so I'm going to take all the knowledge I had with that, and I want to create something special. And hopefully, I got Holt's going to join today, a couple people. So we're just going to start off and see where it goes. I got rules and stuff that, some people might not like, but it's going to be something special. So today, I'm excited, man. Excited.
Nice.
Yeah, cool. And SPG, what's waiting for you?
Well, tomorrow at 12 p.m. CST on my channel, Simply Pwned Gaming, all of you are invited to join us for an episode or a session of Among Us. We all get to lie and pretend we're not the killer, and try to airlock Ray. That's become a sport, I guess. But yeah, that's what I'm doing tomorrow. Going to be doing some Among Us. Would love to see you guys there.
Yeah, seems sus to me, but okay. Rudix, what's up for you?
Well, tonight, if we can get the Destiny 2 servers up and running, Nads and I are going to do our community play on GeForce Now, and that's going to be at 10 p.m., so we're going to have some fun doing that. I may, because I know that WWE 2K22, if I got all those words and letters right, is on PS Plus, so I could easily hop in some wrestling action. And then tomorrow I'm gonna continue because my wife is gone, so I maybe get a little bit longer to stream The Last of Us. I'm really enjoying going through that story. And
The last part, or
the part 1. So I'm really like, I had my first stream of it on Monday. I got to see the beginning of the story. I'm gonna continue through and really experience it for the first time before I launch into watching the show. And if you have not played The Last of Us, that first 20 minutes, God damn, you have to be made of stone.
It's gaming history is what it is.
I haven't played it, but I've seen that part. It's like,
What I tell you,
I had one.
Sorry,
one
William.
more, real quick. I had one more. I forgot because we don't do it that often. But Rock, you might be interested in this. On my other channel that I do content with my wife, it's called The Mothership on YouTube, and we're going to be doing a discussion on UFOs and alien phenomena. So
you know I love that stuff.
so it should be a great discussion.
I'm half
And Rock,
alien.
there's also a documentary you might like on Prime. It's called Missing 411, the UFO Connection. It's about missing people and stuff like that, but it involves UFOs.
there goes all sleep for Rock tonight.
I just wanted to say to Rudix, and there's no spoilers, The Last of Us, the TV series, is really, it's brilliant. But what's really interesting is that they add to the whole lore of the game. So you're doing the right thing. Play the game first, but then when you go back and watch the show, you'll realize it's very, very true to the game, but they add a lot of stuff in behind that gives more detail and more texture to the story,
and
which
normally,
I'm really
normally a show
enjoying.
would cut stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not apples to apples comparison, but it's really good. I like both. Yeah.
Really good.
Superb.
Yeah, I'm. We have a couple of other shows we need to get through before we can get to it, but I'm looking forward to binging that one at some point. Rock,
I didn't realize the little girl in it is actually an English actress.
Yeah,
and she was in Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Game of Thrones. Yeah, the Redwood.
She's in the UK cinematic universe.
Oh,
exactly.
That's
the one that Gem pitched.
That's it. Well, that's why I'm wearing red, because in a minute I'm putting a mask on and swinging around the trees.
Man.
But Rock, apart from swinging around with keys at trees with a mask on,
you know it. Rock Around the Clock tomorrow, Rock Around the Clock on Monday, ROKKSHOW on Tuesday, Rock Around the Clock for the rest of the week, and Rock Players next Thursday. Actually, this weekend I've got 3 games that I need to stream, plus I've got a code for Hitman, the new trilogy setup, so I've got a load of streaming I'm going to need to get done. So yeah. But I stealth drop that stuff. I don't line it up on my channel. It just happens, and if people come in and watch it, that's great. Because it's this I love, chit chatting away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat as you. I also have a bunch of streams too that I kind of signed up to do that I need to get going to at some point.
Yeah.
Gonna make a video on the new Steam World build demo that's out. Really like. I've played that already. Played and recorded that already. Really fun. Plays just like Anno, but in the Steam World series, and that's two things I like. So why not? And then I found this really fun indie game that seems like. You guys remember Game Dev Story or Game Dev Simulator or Tycoon, maybe it was called. Like essentially a game where, like a management game where you have a game studio. I found a similar
No.
one, but for a TV, like you're essentially running TV, you're a showrunner for TV shows. So
wow.
you like it's a management simulator where you come up with TV shows essentially. So I'm gonna try to make like The Witcher, The Last of Us, Game of Thrones, and try to bring in all the money in that because that sounded really fun.
Awesome.
And then also, of course, Hitman as well. Need to take. I've been meaning to get into that game for years, so this is the finally the time when I actually do.
Oh, you got the code as well.
Yeah, and I've wanted to play Hitman for years, so maybe this is the time I actually jump in.
Brilliant stuff.
So yeah, I've got a lot of stuff cooking, but no time to do it all. So we'll see when I get anything done. And yeah, and don't miss the all of these things we've talked about as well. And also mark your calendars for the end of February, the last weekend of February. Well, when there will be a bunch of charity streaming going on with a bunch of giveaways as well. So February.
When are you doing your thing with Ninja again?
We haven't decided on a date yet, but maybe we should do that maybe around that week as well.
Yeah, you should try and tie it in, actually.
Yeah, tie it in there. Yeah. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, that got. There's a lot of things cooking from all of us, but that's been it.
Massive thank you to the chat as well.
Yeah, massive thank you to the chat.
You've been brilliant chat today.
Chat's been on fire today.
Yeah, amazing.
So thank you so much for joining us, guys, and don't miss everything that we mentioned. Don't miss everything happening in the week to come, and we'll see you all in a week from now on Thursday.
And thanks, Al, for the music.
Definitely thanks, Al, for the music that is about to play right now.
Thank you for the music.